Okay, so this is the hard easy. Hey, our voices aren't adding up. Well, that's because we actually recorded this before, but like a dumbass, I didn't have the mic set up, so Jason had the idea that we just record the audio because that'll be easier and faster.
Yeah.
And that we just put it over this video.
Yeah. Some things, I mean, I think all of it will, like, sync up pretty good.
Yeah, that's my guess. I mean, there's a part of me that goes, maybe we should just record ourselves talking as well with the video because, you know, it's the exact same amount of work and the camera doesn't have to do anything different. But I'm sure it's more work somehow, so we're just going to do it this way. But actually, there is another reason we're doing this, because in the vlog that we just did, and I didn't record the sound to, we talked about this interesting idea that, or just something interesting we were saying in this episode that I'm wondering if the writers ever actually say no to anything. It seems like this is an environment where absolutely anything is possible, and if they're just like, let's try it, they never say no. They're like, okay, let's just go with it. Let's just do it. And in this episode, we have the hard easy. This is Jake and Finn come across a crowd of goldfish cracker people. And
no, it's one single goldfish cracker person. Remember, he pops up and he says, I was going to say hi, but I was nervous.
Well, okay, but then he
Sorry.
leads them to other goldfish cracker people.
Fine.
So it works. And pretty much they say there's this giant frog who's tormenting them, and they're led by Jonathan Katz, which is awesome because I love Jonathan Katz. Actually, in the original vlog, I confessed my undying love to him.
For like 10 frickin' minutes.
Yeah, well, because he's really cool. He's like this century's Bob Newhart, even though we currently have our Bob Newhart. But he's like Bob Newhart #2.
So he's like on the level of like Matthew Broderick?
He is far better. Don't laugh at anything Matthew Broderick related. Shame on you. I won't call him that, but I will call him Bob Twoheart, because he is like a second Bob Newhart. Oh. You're really gonna get up? They can't see you getting up. It's only the audio. God, you know what? Screw it. I don't care. It's, imagine, a vlog where he gets up and walks away, like a little pussy. That's what he does. So, anyway, we got this, or he was just getting a Mountain Dew. Nah, I'm still gonna claim you're getting up and walk away like a pussy. So, okay. So we have this episode. That's proof that he was opening a Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew, please sponsor me. I drink your product nonstop, damn it.
This is turning into a podcast.
Yeah.
But again, it's we wanted to do this because we actually did just love the idea that we were talking about, that you just never say no to anything. And this episode ends with them trying to find this frog creature and this giant frog, and Finn kisses him and he turns into a prince voiced by Bill Murray's father, who is got to be like in his 90s or something, and he's a pretty old guy, and yet he plays this young prince. And they just sort of, I'm trying to remember how it even ends. He just sort of flies away, and he's still Bill Murray's dad. And yeah, somehow him and Bill Murray look about the same age. So yeah, it's just, Bill Murray does not look good nowadays, but I digress. So yeah, it was a fun episode. It wasn't great. It still had some decent laughs. There's still lots of, I love Jake trying to get the fire going. I love and getting struck by lightning and then he's just suddenly fine. Like I said, Jonathan Katz cracks me up anytime he speaks. My guess is that was probably improvised when he was doing the, oh no, where's my daughter? I'm over here. Hey, we sounded like, don't we? Yes, that can get confusing. And I bet you anything that was improvised because you can hear him laughing. And he usually laughs when he improvises, so because that's the way he is. He's just...
Does that mean he's terrible at it?
Because it depends on what kind of style you're doing. Because, like, it fits in the show there that he would kind of laugh like, hey, they do sound alike. My voice sounds alike. Like, he gets into his own bit. So, I mean, I don't know. It works for me. But, yeah, I mean, it was fun, but it sort of reminded me of the last episode with the fire people because it had a few good laughs, but it also seemed a little drawn out and, no pun intended, I know it's animated. But I think there's something to, you know what it is? It's because of the rain. I said this in the last one, too. There is something...
He actually did.
Yeah, there is something about the rain I just don't like. I think it slows things down. I think it's boring to look at. It's gray. It's drab. It's not fun. The only time I've ever seen rain awesome is when Frank Miller does it, because his rain is spaced out and cool, and wind can be blowing in the air for their clothes, and they can strike these awesome poses, and I don't know. Frank Miller figured out how to make rain look cool, but nobody else has. So
Singing in the rain. Ooh. Singing in the rain. Ooh, ooh.
But there was no actual rain in that sequence.
Doesn't matter.
I would argue rain didn't really look cool in that scene either, but...
I brought up that the changing sequence reminded me very much of Sailor Moon.
Yeah, with the boots wrapping around him and stuff like that. Bring up your fire thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my only real complaint is that why did Finn not remember how to make fire? A few episodes ago when Jake had his croak dream, Finn's outside and just goes, and
If you
poof,
can't-
there's fire. Yes, I'm rubbing my hands together.
And then blowing.
See,
Yes.
what? But if it's just the audio, they're not supposed to know this. It's not a radio drama.
But
No, it's...
if you're acting out what he was doing...
I
and
was
they can't
making the
see it-
sound effect. They're
But
smart.
you could be rubbing your butt cheeks for all we know.
Wait, let's see how that sounds.
See, that sounds pretty similar.
Kind of. No, they're smart enough. They will get it.
Okay, so okay, this is something we're talking about. We're talking about the continuity.
He created fire from out of nowhere before, and this time around he just kind of was like, I don't know how to make fire. Duh. It was hilarious, but it didn't seem to fall for me. In a show that has such good continuity, it didn't follow.
Yeah, well, that's something we were talking about too. Is that the show's continuity is surprisingly pretty tight. That there's a lot of stuff that they'll go back to. We were mentioning that one with where they're fighting the farm, and he says, I'm gonna get the juice from the Cyclops to bring you back to life after I break every bone in your body. So they really do keep, a very tight,
Hold on their pants.
Yes, the pants of continuity.
Yes.
And pretty much, they're usually pretty good at it. I think something like this doesn't bother me because, A, it's for a joke, and if the joke's pretty funny, which I thought it pretty much was, I love him laying the stick down and just writing fire, I think it works okay, but the other thing is, I'm sure they forgot, I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but we sort of played around with this idea that there's always going to be a forum for anything, any kind of show that exists, where people go and they point out the mistakes of a show. This show seems so good at referencing stuff that my guess is fans had a problem with, or people were talking about, or something that they go back and they fix it. Hell, I was even saying, man, does anyone ever change their clothes? And they start changing up their clothes a little bit, and the way they look.
Pendleton Ward is in your closet, and he's listening to everything you say.
That is scary awesome.
Sorry, go on.
I should feed him.
No, you shouldn't.
You're right. It's hiding in my closet. So, yeah, but we were talking about how, okay, so you got all this continuity going, and all these things that, at least I know I brought up while watching the vlogs. Usually in the next season, they address it, or they have fun with it, or they bring it up again. And we were saying, even with this, if somebody brought that up, wait, didn't he know how to make fire? What was the thing you said about getting hit in the head with the farm or whatever?
Well, yeah, fighting the farm, when you punched me, Jake, it scrambled my brains. I had poo brain.
Yeah, and
therefore I couldn't create fire for a little while. But now I can.
He just rubbed his butt cheeks, if you couldn't see. So, yeah, but it's something...
I believe you mean ball sacks.
Ball sacks? Like I have numerous?
Yes.
Stop giving away my secrets! I'm not a monster!
Wherever the bananas come out. So... It's one of those things where it's like, this is totally doable, where you could go and have bananas come out of you. No, where you could go and you could just make up something for an excuse later and bring it totally out of context nowhere, because that's just kind of the show it is. And I think so much of that is because they never say no, and they just go with anything, and I think that they create an environment where that can work. I mean, I wouldn't say that for every environment. It's like, oh no, never say no, always say yes. That's going to lead to your destruction at some point. But
Never.
But most of the time, I think that it can work if it's used right. And the show knows how to use it right, and it knows how to use an environment to use it right.
But our big thing that we were talking about that I still want to do is, we brought up that, what do they ever say no to? do they ever say no to something? And I want to go through their damn garbage.
We were thinking about going through the garbage and finding all the scripts and concept art and everything that there's just a big X on. They go, no, too weird.
Too weird or too normal?
Yeah, that's the other thing we're saying, is that maybe just like the only stuff they say no to is stuff that's like really normal. It's like it's just a guy in a suit or something. It's like, no, make 4 of them and put them in an iceberg and make them zombies and then put them back in the iceberg, and it's like,
hey, at least you got the number right this time.
yeah, last time I said 3. I never remember number 4 because he's a boring guy. He's for the bore.
Oh, look, here, I got some gifts.
Yeah, if you watch this video to the end, you'll see he gets out those things in the 90s. They were little snappy things, but yeah, well, I don't even know if this syncs up, so I might just leave the audio going.
Yeah.
Until
well, yeah, how long
the
was the
present.
video?
I don't know. I didn't keep
Here,
track.
you picked this one, right?
Yeah, I picked that one. Ow!
That was definitely not as good as the other one.
Yeah, no, and the other one I'm screaming really long, but you can't. Yeah, you'll see me scream in the other one, but
Professional.
yeah,
Very professional.
this was probably the dumbest thing we've ever done. You came up with the idea.
Oh no, this is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. This is the dumbest idea you ever came up with.
If this is the dumbest idea I came up with, I'm a genius. Because this idea is awesome. Come on, people on the comment section, completely agree with me.
Everyone is gonna love this. It's gonna be nothing but praise, because we're following the Adventure Time people's footsteps by not saying no to anything. I'm sure we're doing it just as well as they are. So, to all of the internet, as well as humanity, you're welcome. Hey, those things are from the 90s, aren't they?
Yeah. Look at the blade underneath.
Yeah. Ow!